All right, guys. So as you all know, the best contract ever negotiated by Dennis Taylor was released today. The Master, the National, on some of the Facebook pages. Vote no, Teamsters United, stuff like that. It's not final, but this is a really good rough draft. So supposedly there's not very many concessions inside the contract. Let's go ahead and take a look at my whiteboard here and see if that's actually the case. So we'll start with 22.4 drivers. The starting wage is $20.50 an hour, 4-year progression, finishes at $34.79. As you know, full-timers, full-time package car drivers will be making $41.45 an hour. So that's a difference of, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 bucks. Did a little basic math here. If you agree to be a 22.4 driver, if you work 40 hours a week, you make $72,000 a year. If I work 40 hours a week, I make 86. That means you're giving the company at least $14,000 a year without overtime if you choose to work this position. That's the difference in pay right there. Not only that, you guessed it, there's language in the contract for 22.4s. You'll be working Saturday, and you guessed it, Sunday. So if you plan on going to church, turn the car around, drop the kids off at grandma's. You're not going to church, you're going to UPS. On top of that, you have no 9.5 language. You have no 9.5 protection as a 22.4 driver. This is important because I heard some part-timers saying, oh, I can't wait to be a 22.4 driver because I'm just going to work 8 o'clock in the morning and I'll be done by 4 o'clock at night. I don't know where you got that idea. I make more than this already. With 9.5 language and penalties, I work 50 hours a week, if not more. You are now the cheapest way for UPS to move cardboard all around the country on the weekends, 7 days a week, and you think that you're working 40 hours a week? On top of that, the language actually explicitly says in here that this position was created to reduce overtime hours for regular package car drivers and to prevent us from working Saturday and Sunday. So I would vote no on this unless for some reason you want to give UPS $20,000 a year out of your pocket to work the weekends. You know, if this is something that we need, if we need 22.4 drivers to stay competitive, if we need to work the weekends to stay competitive, then this needs to not be 34. It needs to be at least 41, if not a premium pay. It should be a premium pay to work nights and weekends and have no rights. Moving on. Part-timers, we asked for 15 bucks an hour. You're starting at 13 as of right now. After 4 years, you'll be at 15.50. Also, this is not enough. A few dollars really isn't going to do enough for you guys. And I kind of broke it down here. If you're an existing part-time employee right now and you started out at, 8, 10 bucks an hour and it took you 4 or 5 years to get to 13, 14 bucks an hour, yeah, you guessed it. The new guys are going to walk in making the same that you did. There's no catch-up raises, nothing like that. All that hard work was for nothing. Apparently UPS didn't appreciate it. Best contract ever. The raises are going to go 70 cents all the way to $1. It's going to equate to $4.15 over the course of the contract. Kind of sounds decent on paper, but I broke it down for you. If you work 20 hours a week, which some people work more in big hubs, but some people work less than this in centers, it's just an average. The first raise is going to give you $700 a year, all the way down to $1,000. So if you're making $12,000 today in 2018 as a part-timer, you're going to be making $15,000 in 2022. In my eyes, that's not enough, and it's also not fair to existing part-timers. I mean, there needs to be something for them to get for existing part-timers who put time in to get a boost. They should not be neck and neck with somebody who's been with the company for 30 days. They did put language in the contract that says there will be no more $1 for skilled labor. So if you took a preload position and you're busting your ass loading a truck every day, getting harassed, your egress is blown out, you are now going to be making the same amount of money as a guy who's got his headphones in the back and he's just chilling unloading a trailer. They're both hard jobs, but this has always been a skilled position. UPS added a language that now says every part-time position is considered skilled. They thought it was unfair to have a two-tier wage system with part-timers, which is humorous because they thought that dollar was unfair, but they don't have any problems taking $6 or $7 an hour from these guys. Talk a little bit about the pension for part-timers. I know it's different everywhere, but this is what's in the book. 25 and out, you're looking at $1,300 a month, all the way to 30 years at age 60, you're looking at 2,200 a month. Kind of sounds like a lot for a part-time gig, but you got to think this is only $12,000 a year, and if this doesn't get drastically increased, we're talking about 25 years from today, $12,000 a year for a pension. That's not even going to buy you a bag of potato chips. Let's be honest. That needs to get changed. That's a definite vote no. The positive thing I saw is they're changing the health care from 1 year to 9 months. It should still probably be reduced from that, but what are you going to do? 5,000 part-time jobs is what UPS is agreeing to. The stipulation that most people don't know is, I read the contract, they can do 500 full-time jobs the first year, 500 the second year, 1,000 the third, and like 2,000 the fourth, or whatever the math works out to be. But 5,000 jobs across the entire country, and they're probably going to make the majority of them later in the contract, is not nearly enough to keep part-timers from having to wait a decade to get a 22-4 job to try and sign a full-time job. Moving on. Air drivers. I don't know how the hell this happened. Your progression went from 2 years to 4. Welcome to the club, the concessions club. Thank you, Dennis. Let's see. Starting at 17, making your way to 34 is what it appears to be. So, like I said, I don't exactly know how that progression got changed. I guess you guys were really hurting the company. You guys are making too much. Full-timers, you wanted 60, 70-hour language. Oh, they gave it to us. It says they can force us to work 70 hours. Oh, go figure. Let's see. It'll go seasonals get forced and non-seniority drivers maybe off the streets just helping out. Covered drivers, and then you guessed it, 22.4s because they don't have any rights and they get paid less. Followed by package car drivers, and if they force you after 60, you get paid double time. I don't think anybody really gives a fuck. By hour 61, I'm making time and a half already. Double time does not look as good as my bed. 6 weeks living in the back of the package car, is not a good time. And they gave us, no option to not work 70, which is one of the explicit things we asked for. Concession, vote no. Moving on, 9-5 penalty is still the same. You still have to file a grievance. You don't get double pay added onto your check right away. It's still, they didn't fix anything we asked for. They did make it a little easier to opt on. I mean, that's about it. UPS has 24 months to move any Tuesday through Saturday full-time driver back to Monday through Friday and fill the Tuesday through Saturday spot with a 22-4 position. However, I was scanning the contract and I did not see any penalties in the language if UPS doesn't do that. So for instance, if nobody signs a 22.4 position, they have nobody to put in your position, you stay over there. I think it's like a good faith thing. Not acceptable concession. On top of that, if not enough 22.4 drivers sign up, by the time Sundays kick in, guess who's working Sundays? All the low package car drivers. I'm just guessing. Somebody's working it. What else do we got? Full-timers. I know everybody thinks we make too much, but since we did not get 9-5 language, we did not get 70-hour language, we really didn't get anything we asked for. Somehow this is the best contract ever, but everything that we asked for as full-timers is only going to happen if we shit on the 22-4s and the part-timers. So we'll talk about the raise real quick. So raises are going to be 70 cents through $1. In my opinion, that's not enough, and I'll talk about why. Inflation, for one. If you don't know what that is, look it up, Google it, whatever. It was 2.1%, 2.1%, and 1.9% over the cross the last 3 years. Our first raise is 2%. So we're just breaking even with inflation. We're not even getting a raise. Not to mention the fact that we are only getting $4.15 this year, and last year we got $5. And we got none of the other stuff that we asked for. Then we go to the pension for full-timers. This is different all across the country. This is just what's in the book today. 25 and out is $24,000 a year. Gross. That's not a lot of money. And if we make it all the way to 35 years without being in a wheelchair, you'll be lucky enough to get about $46,000 gross. And, for comparison, I put this down here. Minimum wage right now in a lot of places is $15 an hour. 40 hours a week, that's $31,000 a year. If you 35 years from now, I don't really think $46,000 is going to go very far for a pension. On top of the fact that we know that pensions are kind of getting demolished across the country, central states. Really think we need to get something going on here with a 401k. I know you can make your own, but the point is, if I work for a company for 35 years and I get a letter in the mail from Central States that tells me I got to go work at Pick and Save and bag groceries, I'm gonna be pretty fucking pissed off. Last but not least, there's a language change that I saw in the contract that's gonna affect part-timers, I believe. For whatever reason, it did say no employee shall be discharged for electronics. You know, telematics. If you're scanning packages, maybe you're a preloader, you misload one. They actually crossed out the word employee and just put the word driver in there. So now, I guess make sure you're not misloading too many packages, part-timers, because you're not eligible to be discharged for electronics. Let's see, so there's nothing on here that anybody asked for. I'm looking for the contract that Dennis said is the best one ever with no concessions in it. Maybe it's going to come out after this one. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it, guys. Basically, everybody's getting fucked. If you're full-time, I feel like you should vote no. If you're part-time, you should vote no. There's enough reason here to vote no. I don't think anybody got anything that they asked for. This is Concession City, and I think that we're better than this. And, I mean, if we're already at $34.79 for top pay for 22 fours, and that's 4 years from now. Top pay is already higher than that today. Not only is that a concession, but that is a massive step backwards. And just everything on this side of the board just shits on part-timers. They are the majority of our union, and they are the majority of the union dues. They're the majority of the contract votes. I don't care who you are. This should be a definite no vote unless there's some severe changes. So, later, guys.